Reloading.
So you're squashing some beef with your friends the other day.
Did you guys see that steak debates was never settled?
Which steak debate you talking about there?
The one in Letterkenny's where everyone wanted to cook a steaks different, but we never found out who cooked the steaks best.
Oh, sure. Yeah. That's a good one.
Can't say that I did.
Well, basically, you got three fellas. They got three steaks. Everyone wants to cook some different.
How different's we talking here?
You got one guy that wants to cook it for about 8 minutes. One guy that wants to cook it for about 4 minutes. Another guy that wants to cook it in some herbs and garlic butters.
We have some steaks lying around there, don't we?
We got some 1-inch thick top sirloins, yeah.
I'd kind of like to see this steak thing through, you know?
Amen to that.
Well, personally, I thinks you definitely got to cook your steaks well seasons, herbs and garlics butters, for sure.
You gotta let the natural steak flavorings showcase themselves.
You're f***ing up, bud.
Clean it up.
Well, what do you mean by herbs and garlic butters?
Yeah.
You know, when you make a butter and it's got herbs and garlics in it, like thyme and shallots and butters, and you baste it all in there until it gets nice and crispy.
Oh, sure.
We're gonna need you to take about 10% off all this right now.
Yeah, so me and Gordon Ramsay are both morons. I'm just talking about grill marks, bud.
Grill marks, bud?
Grill marks, bud.
Grill marks, bud! Yeah! There's such thing as too much steak talk, and a fella ought to be aware of it.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to a very special edition of Sober to Sauced. I'm Nico Cervantes,
I am Samuel Sly.
and today we're gonna settle the debate. We're squashing the beef here, now, forever. Everybody wants to know the question: which hick makes the best steak in Letterkenny? And you know what? I've got my thoughts. I think Sam's got his thoughts. Is it Wayne? Is it Daryl? Or is it Squirrely Dan's?
And most importantly, Babish hasn't done this yet.
Sam will not let this go.
No.
That we're doing this before Babish. We're grilling, we're having a good time, but while we're having a good time, we're gonna figure out everything that's going on. We have a hypothesis, scientific method.
Possibly some hypotenuse. The real important thing you need to know is you're seeing this before a brand spanking new season of Sober to Sauce.
Sober to Sauce.
Boop, bow, bow!
Baby! There's continuity this time.
The food is amazing.
They were all filmed in the same time period. Our hair looks the same through all of it. This is how we're getting it started.
Oh my God. It's so far away. Matthew, producer Matt. We have a new producer too. His name's Matt. You're gonna learn to love him like we do. Yeah, there we go.
Producer Taylor's still around, don't worry.
No, she's still around, don't worry, but yeah.
Look, we had to expand the crew. In her parents' house, Sam.
It was with the utmost respect.
This is a special. We're not doing anything very fancy. Here's what we did. Sam found the closest thing that he could to puppers, which was, he got a couple things. We have some Molson and some Labatt's because
they're both Canadians.
Look.
They're both Canadian beers. Now the steaks, that's a whole different scenario.
1-inch thick top sirloins, bud.
As pronounced by each individual member of the Hick crew. We went from sober, we're gonna get a little sauce. We got enough beer to please even the most dehydrated farmhand who's been picking stones and pulling teats all day. We'll snipe Sellies, boys, you know what I'm saying? Ferda. Let's get these steaks done. You had way more than I did.
Ninja
Dust. Boom!
Any decent chef will tell you, you don't even want to let those things touch the grill. Make it drier than a fart.
Darry
Yeah.
steak. 4 minutes aside, no salt or pepper.
Directly out of the fridge.
He scoffs when Wayne asks him to bring it to room temperature. So we assume he wants it, as soon as you get it, throw it on the grill. Doesn't want to rest it. So there's juices just bleeding all over the place.
One of the reasons you also let it come up to at least room temperature is you get a much more even cook throughout.
If you take cold meat and you throw it onto a hot surface, hot cooking apparatus, those proteins tense up.
Like your butthole. When you tell somebody you're not gonna let it come to room temperature before you put it on the grill. My butthole clenched. My proteins clenched. A lot.
Think of when you jump into an ice cold pool, immediately you tense up.
It's kind of like the reverse, but yeah.
And well, instead of like working your way into like a pool that's like temperature controlled.
Oh yeah, just
you can wade right in, right?
You are f***ing up, bud. That's textbook.
Cheers, buddy.
cheers. So Daryl's steaks look barely done, but also the way the thermometer was reading was also saying they were overdone.
Yeah, so we got a couple of top sirloins. I tried to make them as close to 1 inch thick as possible, but I was limited to what the market had. And there were some parts of the steak that were a little thicker than others. So we have some pieces like what Sam is eating that are a little more on the rare side. And then we have some end pieces here, which are a little more on that like medium rare side.
These might be considered a little blue still.
My main gripe, there's no seasoning. The difference between a steak that gets to rest for a little while and come up to temperature that then gets thrown on a hot grill, those protein structures are going to be much easier to cut through, much easier to chew through. Our staff mentioned the texture of bubblegum. Those proteins tensed up and now they're really tough.
I will say this is not
I'm still chewing my first piece,
this is not the toughest steak I've ever had. For how raw it is,
but it's still chewy, right?
I was able to cut with a fork though.
This beef would be way beefier with some salt on it.
It's like LSD for your tongue.
Darry, you animal.
You're f***ing up, dude.
And not the right way. You're not the good kind of animal. We started with dairy steak first because we knew it would be the worst. And
Yeah.
this will be the base to put down the rest of our puppers.
Flip each mitt to get the good grill marks. Let sit for 2 minutes, down the hatch.
Flip twice.
Grill marks, bud.
Let's recap. You need to let your steak rest. Come up to room temperature. You will salt and pepper heavily. Then you will grill at 400. You will grill. After a minute, you'll flip about 90 degrees. And then another minute goes by. You flip the steak over entirely. Another minute goes by. You rotate the steak 90 degrees for good grill marks. You let it rest for 2 minutes.
Grill
There's
marks,
significantly less. Actually, there's still a lot of bleeding. I would still think I would let it rest for as long as I've cooked it. But this is Wayne, you know. There's still some juices.
If you want to fight Wayne over it, you are welcome to.
Toughest guy in Letterkenny.
He is. I don't want to fight Wayne.
But let it rest for 2 minutes. Down the hatch.
Sacrilege. I will strike you.
Blasphemy. Do you want to get striped?
All right.
This is Wayne steak. Sammy. Instantly. More flavor.
The salt and pepper are absolutely noticeable.
There were some pretty good grill marks. If I wanted really good grill marks, I probably would have let it go just a touch longer before turning and flipping.
Oh, sure.
But we have nice color throughout because Wayne likes his steak to rest a little bit before you blast it with the heat. And this is what you get.
A nice even cook. There's a beautiful little ring around there.
Yeah, nice little just rose color throughout everything. This is a steak I'm excited to eat. This is what we did. Even though we're leaking some juices, more moisture than dairy steak because of the rest before and the rest after.
The flavor profile of this is immediately noticeably different from the salt and pepper.
That's all you need.
And then the other
little
stuff.
salt, little pepper. Salt's a flavor enhancer. You taste more of the meat because you add salt to it. It opens your taste buds up. You experience more. Squirrely Dan steak is up next. This is the one that
Nico is personally looking forward to this steak.
this is a lot closer to the way I would approach a steak.
Squirrely Dan's steak is much more how you would approach your steak. Where I feel as Wayne's steak is more how I would approach my steak.
Well, let's clean up. Let's reset.
Let's do it.
Finish the whole thing off with a real nice herbs and garlics, buddy.
Don't up my steak dinner, Darry.
Squirrely Dan doesn't give exact instructions. When the banter between Darry and Wayne is going on, you hear some interjections. And the interjections suggests Montreal steak spices and garlic butters. But then he also says, you don't even want it to touch a grill. Hard sear, finish it in the ovens. So that's what we did.
Kind of.
Squirrely Dan's steak, we let come up to room temperature. If he's listening to Gordon Ramsay, I feel like Gordon would suggest you let it come up to room temperature, which we did.
We did. Check.
We seasoned it with Montreal steak spice.
Check.
We then, with a preheated cast iron pan, hard seared it on both sides.
Check and motherfucking check.
And then we basted it in thyme, butter, garlic, and shallots.
And I would say check again, but then I would drop my fork, so I cannot do that.
So we basted it and then we let it just finish off.
Well, see, now that sounds like overhandling to me.
You'd be overhandling him, Squirrely Dan.
Well, he'd be Squirrely Dan.
Cheers, buddy.
Only took 3 times for me to do it right.
Steak 3, Squirrely Dan. This is the one I was most excited for.
Because you said this aligns more with how you like to make steak.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's well seasoned. You get the hard sear, so you get crust. You baste it. You develop flavor, layers of flavor. This is the least rare of all the steaks,
Oh.
but I'm okay with this because
You're right, it's still the tenderest.
so tender, it falls apart. Even the parts that you would think would be overdone, so tender.
And the juice that's coming out of it is
I'm gonna lick
basically liquid gold.
I'm gonna lick this cutting board. It's still pink in the center. The edges are just a little more well done.
Yeah, this is more
I wouldn't
medium
even
done.
say well done.
No, it's medium done.
Yeah, this is more like medium well at best, but like I think
Yeah.
it's more medium.
Yeah, Daryl's just tasted like straight cooked beef. Which, if you like the taste of beef, great. It tastes great. Wayne's had that elevated saltiness to it from the salt. This doesn't have as much of like the sharp like salt punch, but you have the complete like a little bit of the garlic, a little bit of the butter, a little bit of the thyme, and all the herb. Like that was the only herb you really used was the
It
thyme.
was the only one.
And it's just it's this is to me is more level, even keeled. And as much as I wanted to like Wayne's the best, Squirrely Dan, he's fat for a reason. My God.
Watching old man eating soup.
It's on my pants. And I don't even care.
It's on the edge of your mustache. Now it's in your hair. It dripped. I recommend you taking a nice robust shower today.
That's how good that steak was.
I come from a place where I'm hard pressed to give anything a perfect score, but that is like a 9.75. Like that is damn near perfect as far as I'm concerned. That was, ladies and germs, can we all just give him a little, yeah. Thanks for coming by on this Sober Sauce Special Edition Steak Society. Letterkenny loves everything that we do.
Look,
Or
we
love
we
it at
squashed the beef. We squashed the beef. Squirrely Dan steak reigns supreme. He was not over dandling it. I don't think we oversauced it. It just is what it is, folks. So,
And that's it. Bobish, your move.
pitter patter.
Oh, yeah, me and Gordon Ramsay are both morons.
I deserve it. Hit me. Okay, stop.
I don't want to squeeze that hard.
Those
Oh, you grill marks, bud.
You want to talk about grill marks?